team we're on. Let's get right into it. Kingdom Sports, your host, C. Michael Stanley. We're at it. NBA playoffs. We're in the semifinals. So my first half of the bracket is complete. I made those picks correctly. I didn't think New York was going to sweep Philly, but they did sweep Philly. And I kind of saw OKC sweeping LA. I said maybe 4 or 5. And both of them have swept, and they're sitting there in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals respectfully. So now we have 4 teams vying for that next spot on both sides of the bracket. On the Eastern Conference side, we got the Pistons and the Cavs. On the Western Conference side, we got the Spurs and the Timberwolves. So, I picked the Pistons. And it's looking like the Cavs might beat them tonight and go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. But because I'm such a loyalist at heart, I'm going to stick to my pick of the Pistons to win on the road for the first time in this series, and then bring it back home and close it on out of Detroit. Detroit basketball. They go ahead and close it on out. Again, James Harden, sir, you do what you do. Had a great game last game. I don't expect you to do anything in Game 6 and Game 7. If you show up in Game 6 and play ball, and score the ball and make plays and don't turn the ball over, you can bring your team to the Eastern Conference Finals. But historically, you don't do it. So I'm sticking with my pick of the Pistons. Now, let's go on over to the Western Conference side. I picked the T-Wolves in 6. They were down 3-2. They can't win in 6. Wembanyama is one of my favorite players. Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite players. I would say those are my top 2 favorite players in the NBA right now. They're going at it. Wembanyama is doing something spectacular right now. And everybody knows the Spurs is a young team. And again, because I'm a loyalist, instead of Wolves in 6, I'm going to take the Wolves in 7. Got the Wolves winning at home tonight. And then Game 7, I think that's where we're going to see the young boys, the young coach from the Spurs, just kind of fall flat on their face, giving the Wolves in 7. So, with those picks, and hey, I may have some egg on my face next week when I come back, but with those picks, I got the Pistons going against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I got the T-Wolves going against OKC in the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to go ahead and take the Knicks to win that series, and I'm going to go with the upset pick, the T-Wolves to upset OKC Thunder, and we're going to have a Knicks T-Wolves NBA Finals. Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, blockbuster, box office. Let's go. So we'll be back next week. We'll be in the thick of both of those conference finals. So we'll see if my predictions were correct. So again, I'm sticking with my Pistons. I'm sticking with the Pistons. They beat my Magic. I'm sticking with the Pistons to win in 7. Sticking with the T-Wolves to win in 7. I thought both of them would win a little earlier. Both of them are down. Both of them can lose tonight. I can look stupid next week talking to y'all. But I'm going to go with the Pistons in 7. I'm going to go with the T-Wolves in 7. Hey, babe. Thank you for helping me get this thing together. Yeah, so, and then for the conference finals, I got the Knicks over the Pistons, and I got the T-Wolves with an upset over the Thunder. Call me crazy. But hey, it's Kingdom Sports. Got to jump out there with some faith on something. All right, so we'll be back next week to check out the conference finals, see who made it, see if I was right or wrong, and then see how those series are going. And WNBA tipped off. So I want to jump into that real quick before we close out. And also the NFL schedule came out. A lot of people making picks on games and stuff already. I'm not ready to do that quite yet. But that was exciting. I like how the team marketed that. And that was awesome to see. But I know something that stood out to me in the WNBA is the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty, they're scoring 100 points a game. That's insane. That's the sound thing that's ever been done. And let me see how the standings are looking. The New York Liberty are actually 3-1. I thought they were 4-0. I know they scored 100 points per game and all for a contest. But our top 6 teams in the WNBA right now, and I believe the top 8 make the playoffs. But I look at the top 6 right now because they all have winning records. The top 6, everybody else is kind of at 500. So the top 6, we have the Chicago Sky. off to a great start after the move in the trade, a big trade of Angel Reese in the summer. And her team that she was traded to, the Atlantic Dream, are actually undefeated as well. So we got the Sky and the Dream at 2-0. Shout out to Angel Reese, one of my favorite players to watch. She actually got me into women's basketball, her and Caitlin Clark, a few years ago. Well, I used to watch it, all the time, but kind of like really follow it like that. And those young ladies were in college. We all know the story. They've both been box office ever since. So shout out to Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. But Angel Reese made the move to Atlanta. She's loving it. I'm going to try to make it up to a game, maybe for my birthday in the summer. So we'll see how they go because they'll be right in the thick of their season. So I'm excited to see them. Hopefully Orlando can get a team again. I used to go to Orlando. We had the Orlando Miracle. For those that don't know, Orlando had a WNBA team that was the Orlando Miracle. So hopefully Orlando can get a team back. Next up, we have the New York Liberty at 3-1. I don't know how they played 4 games already, and everybody else played 2 or 3. But hey, the Liberty are 3-1, but they're scoring at a high clip, 100 points per game. That's insane, but I love to see it. Golden State Valkyries. We know that's a new team that made the playoffs last year. They're 2-1. Minnesota Lynx. They're always dangerous, 2-1. And of course, we got our defending champion, Las Vegas Aces, 2-1. So just looking at it, I would say those 6 teams I think are going to be, vying for a playoff spot. And then we'll see how the next 2 teams go. I think there'll be a lot of shuffling down at the back end with the rest of those teams. But the WNBA is off and going. So we'll be doing more of that when the NBA season ends. And we'll be in between that and college football, NFL. Our main sports here on Kingdom Sports is basketball and football because those are my favorites. So, hey. All right. So, that's our segment for the night. I got to go. Again, I'm sticking with the Pistons, the win in 7, even though I thought they were going to win earlier. And I'm sticking with the Timberwolves, the win in 7, even though I thought they were going to win in 6. They could be down tonight. We'll see. Both games will be great games. So you guys make sure you tune in. The games are on Prime Video. A lot of people can complain about the NBA this year because they're showing so many games on so many different platforms. You got Prime, you got Peacock, you got NBC, you got ABC, you got ESPN. They're showing games all over the place. So you got to make sure you're following so you know how to find the games. That's been the one complaint. But I love the coverage. I love them being on different platforms. You hear different perspectives as you watch the game. So I love it. I've been enjoying it. So check out those games tonight. And then my conference finals picks, I'm taking the Knicks over the Pistons. And I'm taking the Timberwolves to upset the Thunder. And then we'll look how the finals are looking in 2 weeks. So we'll be back next week. See if I'm looking stupid. All right. Y'all be blessed.